what are some ways, really practically speaking, that we can make better, wiser decisions, and frankly, decisions that kind of square with what God would have for our lives. So we're really excited about this series called Next Move. And so we're going to be talking about topics like friendships and choices there, marriage, sexuality, money, workplace, all of these things that some people, some churches, some places you've been have never talked about. You've never heard what God has to say in those arenas. And we're going to talk about them square on, front and center here at Intersect. And so this morning, I want to talk to you about a very foundational piece of that. I want to talk to you about something that some of you would be like, that's weird. Why is he bringing that up? I want to talk to you about guardrails. Guardrails. Now, you know, when I say a guardrail, I mean, many of you know what guardrails are. I mean, hey, they're the things out on the curves and the roads, right? So the official name or the official definition of a guardrail is this. It's a system intended to keep vehicles out of off-limit or dangerous areas. It's a system meant to keep vehicles from straying. And that's what I want to talk to you about. We're going to key off of that idea of straying this morning. Straying into dangerous or off-limit kinds of areas. Now, where in the world do guardrails appear? I mean, think about that. And there are three basic places where guardrails appear. They appear, number one, in tight bridges, like small little bridges where you could go off to the left or to the right. Or they appear at places where there are sharp curves or changing the terrain in the road. Right? I mean, so you're going down the road and it's late at night and suddenly there's a sharp turn. Christy and I went to a place over Thanksgiving where there were some incredibly sharp turns, the guardrails. Right? And the last place is this. You're going to find guardrails in a median situation where you're heading down the road and you could cross over into oncoming traffic. So traffic is coming at you pretty closely. And so that's the idea of why guardrails are there. And the reality is, have you ever thought about the fact that the guardrails are in places where in reality you could drive on that patch of real estate. You could drive on that patch of real estate because they are in places before the places where the danger happens, right? Those guardrails, if they weren't there, you could drive there, but they're just there to protect you and to guard you from going over into the abyss, from dropping off into the ditch, from going off the edge. And so they are in places that precede the places of direct danger. And so this morning, you know, we could talk about driving cars and taking next moves as you go down the road. But the deal is this is more than just a guardrail with your car. Right? Not only are there guardrails with that, but I want to talk to you in decision making about establishing some guardrails in your conscience. I want to talk to you about making some decisions before decisions that are things that protect you. They are decisions. You can call them convictions. You can call them things where I'm going to stand no matter what everybody else in the office is doing, no matter what everybody else in my little group is doing, no matter what everybody else in my family is doing. I need to have these guardrails for my conscience and my life.